As she said, she looked at Noah and said coldly, "Noah, you think Haraya puts a green hat on you. You are upset, but have you ever thought that you two personally lent Wendy for $5 million? In the arms of Fredman?" When these words came out, everyone bowed their heads. Wendy's face was ashamed and unbearable, but she didn't dare to refute anything. Noah's face flushed even more. Yes, the Lady Wilson is right. When she was cuckolded, she became furious and felt that Haraya was insulting, but as a father, he once sent his daughter to an old master who was 1 year older than him. Old Mrs. Wilson saw that everyone was afraid to talk, so she said coldly, "Now, everyone's Botauti shacks are not clean. Don't think anyone is dirty. This will unite us, work together, and revitalize the Wilson Group. Listen, you all. Do you understand?" Everyone hurriedly said, "I understand." After that, the old Mrs. Wilson said to other people, "Also, no one is allowed to mention this matter again in the future. Otherwise, drive out of Wilson's family in order to follow your example." Noah and others looked solemnly. Everyone knew that Mrs. Wilson was not joking, and it was impossible to publicize such scandals. Haraya's matter has come to an end. Noah's inner anger has alleviated a lot, and the Lady Wilson's mobilization has indeed worked. So, a family of 5 lay back on the hospital bed. Seeing that the farce had ended, the doctor immediately came over and gave them an infusion to neutralize the daffodine in their bodies. However, Noah suddenly felt that itching in his crotch was unbearable. He put his hand under the bed and scratched it quietly. Unexpectedly, the more itching became unbearable, but he thought it was a sign of poisoning and didn't care too much. Poop. At this moment, Thompson Villa. Charlie's family just finished eating. 2 middle-aged men in suits knocked on the door and said respectfully to Charlie, "Hello, sir. We are from Thompson Property Management Company. Just now, a group food poisoning incident occurred in our community AO4, a family of 5. Everyone has been taken away by ambulances, so our property here specially reminds owners to pay attention to food hygiene and safety. Please pay more attention." Before Charlie spoke, his mother-in-law Elaine approached curiously. The 5 members of the AO4 family were all pulled away by the ambulance? What happened to them? One of the men in a suit said respectfully, "Ms. Hello, the owner of AO4 has a family of 5. All of them have been poisoned by food and have been taken to the hospital. Do you eat any wild astupid or wild mushrooms in your home?" Elaine smiled and said, "Oh, our family doesn't eat that kind of food. Unlike the poor AO4, the poor went to other people's homes to steal food." The person from the property company smiled awkwardly and said, "We also inform you to pay more attention. Since you have this awareness of prevention, it would be best." After the people from the 2 properties left, Elaine said with a smile, "Oh, it's really evil and retribution. I said that the Wilson family didn't live in Thompson's life. Sure enough, something went wrong, really good." Claire asked curiously, "Mom, what's the matter?" Elaine smiled and said, "Your grandma and her family were poisoned by food and were taken away by an ambulance. They deserve it." "Food poisoning?" Claire asked in surprise. "How could food poisoning happen? Didn't they steal our food? We are fine." Jacob also said in surprise, "Maybe they are eating stale meat." Charlie said lightly, "I guess they should have eaten the daffodils I planted." "Daffodils?" Claire asked in surprise. "Where are the daffodils? How can they eat them?" Charlie smiled and said, "The pile of plants I planted at the foot of the wall, which looks like leeks, is actually daffodils." "Mom!" Claire blurted out, "Isn't that leeks? I really want to eat it." Charlie smiled and said, "It looks like leek, but not leek." Claire said, "I remember it was said in the biology book that daffodils are poisonous." Charlie nodded and said with a smile, "My wife knows a lot. Daffodils are indeed poisonous. There is a kind of daffodil in the body. Excessive consumption can cause poisoning." Elaine widened her eyes and exclaimed, "Oh, Charlie, you did it on purpose? No wonder you asked me what vegetables Lady likes to eat. I told you that she likes to eat leeks. You made so many daffodils. This is deliberately cheating them," Charlie said with a serious face. "Mom, you can't say that. I don't mean to cheat anyone. I just planted daffodils in our yard." As for who stole it and ate it has nothing to do with me. Elaine hurriedly smiled and said, "Oh, my dear son-in-law, where did you think of it? Do you think your mother will blame you? Mom is grateful that you are too smart. You did such a beautiful job today and helped her out." A breath of bad breath! Jacob couldn't help asking, "Charlie, if you eat too much daffodil, will it be life-threatening?" Charlie smiled and said, "No, it's a food poisoning at best." "That's good." Jacob breathed a sigh of relief and said, "Although their family is too much, but after all, blood is thicker than water. You can teach them, but you can't kill them." Elaine pointed at Jacob and cursed, "You have the benevolence of a woman. You don't want their lives, they want yours. Do you know how your mother did me in prison? My leg, it was broken by your mother." Speaking of this, Elaine was very indignant and reprimanded. "This damn Lady Wilson is poisoned. She should also be taught a lesson. See if she dare to be so terrible in the future." Jacob said helplessly, "It's okay to give a lesson, as long as you don't kill anyone." Elaine snorted coldly. "Your mother has treated you so badly for so many years, and you still have such affection for her. I have worked hard with you for so many years, and you have to live with me and divorce me. You have no conscience." Jacob said angrily, "You don't want to talk about us in everything.